Okay, cool. Yeah, rather than just sharing about what we do and ourselves, we're going to quickly share about how to kickstart your indie game and how to get funded. This probably applies more to premium games, PC and console games, rather than to free-to-play or mobile games. So first off, who are we? We are the Iterative Collective, and we are incubator publisher hybrid for indie games based in Singapore. And here are a couple of games that we have signed and are working with currently. So there are 5 so far. And let's dive into it. These are the types of fundings available to, game developers and development studios, especially looking at more of them being at the early stage of things. So I'll show a quick graph of like the amount of money for each type of funding versus the stage of game you are at. So from what we see, there's a lot of various different options at the early stage, but usually it's a smaller amount of money. And that's where a lot of developers start out. So they bootstrap and find solutions to their problems using their existing resources. I think this kind of includes, it's typically traditionally for self-funding, but we're going to include friends and family, loans, and maybe a little angel investors. And what you'll need to get this sort of funding is basically passion, grit, and discipline. Most of the time, you're going to be by yourself or as a small team, and you're going to be up against building and developing a whole huge game from scratch. You're probably just at a concept stage, maybe even a playable prototype. The good thing is you have full control over the game. Nobody's going to budge in and say that, hey, we don't want this in the game. We don't want please change this feature. But the cons about that is that you're not getting additional funding for the whole development cycle, and there's no real support for like things like probably marketing or project management, which you don't already have. Another way indie game studios can raise funding is through crowdfunding. We've seen a couple of successful Kickstarters and a few successful patrons. And what you need to kickstart this is basically you need a strong concept conveyed on a crowdfunding campaign, and you'll need a public demo, ideally, that you can showcase to potential funders. And it really helps to have a strong existing audience. The good thing about crowdfunding is, you get the money to continue funding the game. It's usually considered as pre-sales, where they give you the money up front in exchange for a chance to get the game. The good thing about crowdfunding is it also can serve as marketing for the game, and the audience is also able to give feedback that can help improve the game. The only downside of this is that it does take time and effort to successfully pull off this successful Kickstarter campaign or crowdfunding campaign. We've seen a couple of successful case studies in Singapore. We've got Chinatown Detective Agency, which raised about $80,000, as well as a New Leaf Memories, a recent new game, which raised about $149K. The most obvious way that usually game studios look at finding funding would be through publishers. These are a couple of publishers that local studios have worked with. P-Cube Indies with Cat Quest and Songbird Symphony, Eastbreed, Masquerada, The Signal State, which Benedict presented earlier with us. Let's Build a Zoo with No More Robots, and Noosphere with Grab the Games. So what do you need to pitch to a publisher? Basically, you just need a strong vertical slice demo. Like a couple of them mentioned earlier, they require a playable demo and a strong pitch towards them. And I think lastly and most importantly, you need a competent team able of pulling off what you propose and what you pitch. The great thing about having publishers is that they handle the marketing, distribution, localization, porting, and other services you may need. The downside of it, revenue share. Publishers usually want a share of the revenue. Perhaps all this talk about money is getting you bored. So let's share more about the Iterative Labs, which is an incubation program that we're kickstarting soon. Basically, how it works is it's simple. You submit a game, and we have a quick conversation, and to learn more about you and the team and the game, we do give a small contract that we sign, and we provide funding for the prototype all the way until the vertical slice. And after which, we do a demo day to various publishers and investors, and we work with you on that, and hopefully you can get more funding for the game and continue developing it until launch. And on the demo day, we'll come in as one of the potential publishers for the games as well. So what we have is strong support from different mentors from various companies around Singapore and internationally. We've got mentors in art, audio, biz dev, marketing, design, programming, production, and writing. We're pulling together more mentors as we speak. So this is still a work in progress. These are a couple of mentors that we've already confirmed. Tim, who's a partner at Sheridan's, they've recently been voted the best game industry law firm. Jason De La Roca, co-founder of Execution Labs, he's our personal mentor ourselves. He has run his own incubation studio in Montreal or in Canada, and he is the IGDA's former executive director. And we have Alwyn, local game studio CEO from Daylight Studios. So we've got a couple of perks for local developers as well. There's access to dev kits for consoles. We provide business and legal guidance, basically advising on how to set up a company, how to structure it, and stuff like that. And we do have a co-working space, which will be provided post-COVID. And these are the three main things that we look out for in a game pitch or proposal. Basically, we look out for a strong game concept, something that's unique, but at the same time, it's still fun. We'd like to see traction. We usually like to see people following your Twitter page, your game's Steam page has number of wish lists, stuff like that. And lastly, we like distinctiveness. We like the game to stand apart from other games and not get lost in the sea of games that are releasing every month, every year. And that's about it. I think we can quickly jump to questions. Welcome back, Cheryl. You are muted.
Yes, I was talking to the air for a while.
I see.
So give me a moment. Let me just double check on questions that we have. Hold on, I have a lot of tabs open. Okay, I think pretty straightforward, and I don't really see any questions for you guys. Let me just put the links to all your sites on the social media comments. Give me a moment. And yep, if any of you have any questions, feel free to contact Matthew directly. Earlier, the Signal State was presented. That is one of the games that they are incubating and publishing. So yep. Once again, thank you so much, Matthew, for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.